So I couldn't go to sleep today without playing both tracks for y'all and like highlighting certain moments that I found to be like examples of the growth and development, but also point out like, oh, I kind of like something about that as well too, even if it wasn't the most developed part. So let's see. So this is the intro to the track, but it doesn't have any like backgrounds. It's just piano chords that my aunt played. But on a new version, you can hear I got some backgrounds. Yeah. And then I added some whistles in the back. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but I did some whistles. Now this is the first take. And you know, my vocal here isn't terrible. It's serviceable. Oh, she's loud. If I was doing an auto-tune, if I was an auto-tune lady, you know, I could have kind of cleaned this up. But I feel like on the new version, you can hear a lot more like vocal intentionality, and let me show you. So this is the released version, years later. But you hear like it's a more like contained. It feels like a more intentional vocal. I was trying to give an effect. You know, I was trying to give an effect. Okay, and then the next part. Obviously, so in the old version, this placement currently is more forward, more chesty. Never felt this energy, such crazy chemistry. Whereas in the new version, it's more like tender, like I'm nervous, like I never felt this energy, such crazy chemistry. And I think I did a run there too on the new one. I can't even name my phrase. But it was just like a new dynamic I wanted to do because I knew I was going to belt later in the song. And I did want the audience to pick up on like the tender side of these feelings instead of just me feeling like angry or want to express. But I think a big change that I made is with the pre-hook for the first chorus, for the first verse, sorry. And this all may be true. So the delivery on this part stays very the same. I don't do any like runs or nothing like that. I don't do anything to enhance the ooh, I had to put it on charge. But I don't do anything. I'm sorry, I had to go back. How boys do, still this feeling so new. So I wanna see through. Set me up for the first. But on a new version, this all may be true. But I know how boys do. Still this feeling so new. It's more going on. Let's see through. And then I did a drop there. Crying, have some fun playing in my mind. Put a smile on my heart too. Tell me what would you do if I trusted you? And I just wanted it to be tender to this part, so I decided to try to vocally create that. And then I still wanted the bigger moments, like, and you have to kind of let it build. So that's why I did the. I was just playing. And it stays pretty straight on the old version. If I trusted you. And that makes sense because it was one of my first, I think it was my first time recording it. So, you know, you don't want to play too much because you don't know if you're going to hit a note or not, or if you're going to, you want to follow, like, you know, you haven't developed a play with it yet. If I trusted you. And then this verse, I rewrote and repurposed. So same story, I'm telling, but I wanted it to be a little bit more tender. And also, this was feeling a little too honest at this point for me. And so I was like, let me rewrite it. So on this version, the verse is different and it matches the first one a lot more. The structure. So many nights, and it's so many times you try. Just to break that down just a little bit for the girls who don't, who might have caught that. There was a little bit of like, I don't know the right words, like harmonic or structural writing differences that happened from that first verse in this version to the second version. Because even though it's structured similarly, it's not structured at the exact time. So the first time I said, so many nights I'm here with you. And then this time I said, so many nights I've shared my arms. You see, it's many nights, so many nights, many nights. You just get, because if you're going to reuse the same thing, you don't want it to sound monotonous. And I think at the time when I would re-listen to the old version, a lot of the song felt monotonous. I was like, it needs life breathed into it. It needs to feel like, whatever. And then I knew if I was going to rewrite that part to match the front part, I had to bring some. So, okay. So that's that. Now, let's see. In the lyrical structure, I wanted it to be more honest. And that was hard. Hate it. And I wanted to tell a more direct story, but still give be honest to what the theme was. Okay, so I went for it there. But when I realized I did not go for it much in the new version. You die. Yeah. Oh, babe. Okay. And so the old second verse just was very much, it told a similar story, but it just wasn't as impactful. So I take it. But let's see it sounds bad. I said, okay, we gotta fix that. The placement just wasn't right. This is more singer things, but from when I was drinking. So not too much on the old recording. 2 was what it was before. Oh, was it? When was that? I recorded this. It had to be early on Moans too. So, but all that to say, yeah, that was that was that with that. But also placement and vowel and how you phonate and all that stuff like that. In the new version, I do duh, which is duh, instead of do, which is harder to belt. Do, it doesn't sound as clean as duh. Duh has a brighter resonance to it, so it comes out better and it sounds better. So if you notice a singer pronouncing their words a particular way as they sing them, that's why. Sorry it's such a long video, but I just really wanted to, I don't know, I'm starting to geek out about it because it's kind of fun to talk about. So tell me, what would you do? A little bit better, but it's not as good of a new version. In the new version of that run too, I think I added another note. That was obey. But I think I did obey. It was just another at the very end. Just a little bit of playing with the note instead of just like hey. But something about this old version still feels so like endearing to me, because even though it's not as vocally as like impressive, obviously, at least obvious to me, it just has that like that really vulnerable, tender, emotive or whatever. But the other one sounds cleaner. It still sounds emotional, obviously, but just not as emotive as this. So I hear this and this feels very raw. It feels like I remember what feelings was coursing through my bones. You know, I couldn't even like try to articulate or like try to like develop a sound and be intentional, because all I was just feeling and expressing. But then I was like, okay, I went back to the drawing board and I said, let me clean this up. So then about 2-3 years later, I cleaned her up and then I released her. Yeah, I did. This was the old bridge. I didn't know what to say anymore at that point. I didn't think I was wanted to write anymore. And I also was afraid of like saying too much, because I was like, what if they hear this? I don't want no questions. I don't want to have this discussion. You hear the song and you just imagine that you never heard it, or you imagine that it's about somebody else if you think it's about you. You could tell that I'm singing from a better place, at least to me. I like my vocal cracks, but but some people might not. I get that. My placement is much brighter. I don't know if that's because my voice changed, but this is a new bridge, and this is me being more vulnerable, more honest about the actual fears I would fear about saying things, but then also trying to make sense of why I'm in this predicament in the first place. And it died, just resurrected. And even though I know what this is, I hate this part. Because I was supposed to say headed, but I didn't know how to add the D back in after the run. And to be very honest, this outro is not as sweet as the old outro. It's like I'm missing a couple harmonies, but as long as I worked on it, I could not find them. But the old one sounds really sweeter. I don't know what. I love a stair stack. Why? Yeah. What will you do? It's drive the air. I love. And then that's the end part of that song. But the old version. Oh God. You showed your. You showed your ass. How do you expect me? Sorry, y'all. I'm not cutting this out either. I'm tired. It's 2 a.m. Couldn't go to sleep. Something about how warm these stacks are, the mix on them, I don't know what I did, but I have not been able to recreate it. Something about it just feels so. What would you so finna do? If I trusted you, bo, 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 bo. That but I don't know. So as I think just I got re-inspired, really, like, I guess, talk about music and share and express and create again by just sitting with my aunt and listening to what I had done, and then what I created then, and then hearing what I've done a couple years ago, which I thought was like the best I could do, or like, like some of my best work, and be like, oh, I kill that now. Like it felt like invigorating to like kind of feel my progression. But also I think rehearing the original sincerity of the track really did trigger me to be like, I wrote this, I sang this, I cried about this, I mixed this, I engineered this. Mind you, mixing and engineering ain't no punk. And if you have any form of ADHD or attention deficit, baby, with no addies, my God, having the focus of who had a good focus. I don't know, bro. I had the focus of whoever the fuck is known for focus. Whoever the luck is known for focus is, girl, having to do that on top of all of this work was not easy. But she was done. And unfortunately, I have to say, for the rest of these tracks from my first EP, I don't really have, this was the only one. I think I have original versions of Garden, and I'll show y'all that too. But I don't have many original versions of the tracks probably moving forward, so you can see years of progression, because this EP was like all new songs that I wrote and recorded. So yeah. But I probably won't be able to do this for like a lot of my music, because I just haven't had the space to record a bunch. But for whatever I do have options like this for, I'll definitely post it and show it y'all. Just because I feel like the creative process is really cool, and I hope that it can like help you appreciate further, deeper, the art. And like, it takes time, like some of these songs I couldn't sing back in the day because I was not vocally strong enough. Like, I didn't know how to belt that well. I probably still belt improperly because I'm not classically trained at all. I'm just out here doing what feels right, and then taking what I've learned from YouTube and TikTok and applying that as much as possible. But I like my instrument enough now to where like what I create with it now, it doesn't piss me off, and I'm comfortable sharing it. So yeah, all that to break down to say too, if you feel like you've created something and you don't think it's good or something like that, I would say trust yourself more than what you believe, because also trust your progression more than what you believe, because my aunt still listens to the original version of the track. And I would be so annoyed because I was like, there's a new version out with better vocals and stuff like that. And I finally got to see why. Because there was something very beautiful, very intimate, very raw, very like, it was performant-less. It wasn't performative at all. It was just very authentic and raw and honest. And I appreciate that. But also I like the new version. And, I think as artists, our jobs is trying to meld those two worlds together. So again, when I eventually re-release these, I'll try to make sure I try to maintain some of that rawness in my art.